Razorpay has made an acquisition in Malaysia for an undisclosed amount. It's a company called Crulec. But the idea is that Crulec has certain technology which will help Razorpay in all of its markets to integrate e-commerce, social commerce with its core business of payments. Joining us to talk more about this is the co-founder and CEO, Harshil Mathur. Harshil, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for joining us today on ET Now. Tell us, why is the Crulec acquisition so important for Razorpay? How is it a game changer for you folks?
Thank you so much, Nayantara, for hosting me. We have been building in India for past 7 years, and we have seen massive scale up in our business in the last 2 years specifically, right? And we have started as a payments company. We've scaled massively there, built a lot of products in India around it, right? From no-code tools to magic checkout to so many more things. And in the last 2-3 years, we've also gone deeper and doing credit and banking for businesses that we power. Today, we have become the largest provider of payments for internet merchants in India. And I think we cannot be more excited about what happens in India from here on onwards. But one thing we've been speaking about in the past as well is that some of the products and services that we have built in India are really world class and can really solve for a lot of problems, not just in India, but outside India as well. And Southeast Asia in particular has been exciting for us because these markets are going through very similar growth trajectories as India did a couple of years back. There's a rapid digitization of ecosystems underway. Digital payments is expanding, and at the same time, one of the they're trying things like real-time payments and other things that India has done in the past, right? So from our perspective, we see that some of these markets can become really exciting, and if we can bring some of our products that we have made for India in these markets, we can replicate a lot of our success here. But at the same time, it needs a lot of customization, and this is where the Crulec acquisition comes in to play, right? This is our first acquisition in the international markets, where we're acquiring this amazing team which has built recurring payments for the Malaysian market in the last couple of years. And by acquiring this company, we can closely partner with them so that they can keep building the local nuance that's required in these markets. But at the same time, Razorpay can bring in the expertise, the strength, the learnings, and the products that we have built in India for the past 7 to 8 years into these markets and work with the local team of Crulec, customize these and launch it. We're starting in Malaysia, but sooner in other parts of Southeast Asia as well. So it's an exciting day for us. It's an exciting announcement for us, and we're really looking forward to what we can do after this acquisition in the Malaysian market.
And will you bring it to India as well?
So I think Crulec is a very small company. So of course there are certain things that they have built that even India hasn't seen. But the primary purpose of this acquisition would be to provide the help, support, products, and financial help and everything else that's needed, but to ensure that Crulec can be a close partner in scaling and winning big in Malaysia and other markets in Southeast Asia. So I think the biggest focus for us will be to scale in the local markets there and compete aggressively there with the products and services that we already have.
Okay. And, you once told me that a lot of your leads are actually generating because of social media, how e-commerce is becoming bigger and social commerce is the future. Is that the way you are also headed, Harshil, at Razorpay?
Yes, definitely, right? So, we are today the largest provider of internet payments in India, and social commerce and e-commerce is a big component of the payments that we process. In the last 1 year, we have grown by 300%. We today do more than $60 to $70 billion of analyzed payment volume through our platform. We aim to scale that number to 90 billion plus next year. And a good chunk of that will kind of come from e-commerce and social commerce, right? Like today, almost 25 to 30% of our volume comes from there, and we expect that to continue to grow up, right? And that's why we are building a lot of tools and services to spatially enable that. Our no-code stack is built entirely to enable social commerce, and similarly, our magic checkout that we launched 2 months back is built entirely to enable new age e-commerce players. So with the combination of these two, we'll see a lot of growth on that in India in particular. But I think with this acquisition, you can see some of these products being replicated to markets in South Asia as well, which makes it even more exciting. Like that products and services that we are building in India are now going to be exported to markets in Southeast Asia, and we can build from India for the world.
That has, of course, been your theme, right? Build for India, build for the world. I was also seeing your tweet how this week also marks your your anniversary for getting the first loan, quitting your job, starting Razorpay. When you look back, I'm sure you wonder where all the time is gone. So Harshil Mathur, you tell us, where is Razorpay headed? I know you have global ambition. I think you've also exhibited that with this acquisition.
Yeah, see, our vision is fairly simple. We want to build a full stack financial ecosystem for businesses, not just in India, but across the world, right? And of course, India has been a front and center and will continue to be a front and center because the kind of growth this ecosystem has is just amazing. So we started with payments. Now we are doing neo-banking, we are doing lending. And the goal is that tomorrow, if you start an internet business, you can sign up with Razorpay and we can take care of everything that you want to do with money right on one single platform, right? And now with this acquisition, we can take that vision and we can take that ambition outside India as well into markets like Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, and so many more markets in Southeast Asia. And I think the one of the most important reasons for us to do this Crulec acquisition is that the team and culture that company has is very similar to what we have in Razorpay in India. And that's one thing that I personally have focused a lot on, that what no matter how big we grow, no matter how far we scale, we continue to maintain the essence of Razorpay, which is our team and our culture, right? And I think with this acquisition, the entire founding team and the entire amazing team of Crulec is going to be onboarded into Razorpay, and they'll continue to build within the Razorpay umbrella for the local markets. So I think that's just really exciting for us. And yes, you are right. Like, it has been about 8 years-ish into this journey, but I'm even more excited today than ever before that the vision that we have for ourselves is really wide, and there's a lot of opportunities ahead for us.
Harshil, my final question to you before I let you go, and I don't want to rain on your parade, but it's always very important to put things in context, right? Now, you're one of those companies who doesn't have to burn VC money to acquire customers as such, okay? Or maybe you do, you tell us that. But the point I'm getting at is that it's been a bad 10 days for fintech. I'm not just talking about the stock price crash that started earlier for fintech companies, but with a giant like PayPal admitting in an earnings call that, it's got more than 4 million accounts which are legitimate, there's fraudulent activity, and the whole world has been buzzing that if it can happen to PayPal and all the sophisticated software tech it has, what happens to other fintechs? I thought no one better than you to tell us where India stands when it comes to this.
Yeah, no, that's a very fair point, and I completely agree with that, right? Like, we all are gunning for ambitious growth. We all are gunning for aggressive growth plans, but at the same time, it's important to balance these things out, right? With risk and fraud and some of the other things that can catch up, right? Like, the fact is that wherever there is growth, there'll be people who will try to find ways to take advantage of those systems, and we all need to be very careful about it. From an India perspective, I can say that, like, because of the way our two-factor system is built, because of the way our authentication systems are built, India is still much better than the rest of the world when it comes to fraud rates in particular. But that doesn't mean that our work stops there. I think with the kind of population that we have, which is learning to come online for the first time, it's a responsibility for the entire ecosystem, not just us, but the consumer, us, merchant, as well as regulators and policymakers to work together to ensure that we don't face similar challenges as our ecosystem scales up. From Razorpay perspective, I can say that that this has been a very, very big focus area. Consumer fraud protection and consumer protection is a very, very big focus area for Razorpay. We invest a lot of time, bandwidth, and energy into it because as a payments company, we just don't get affected by the loss of effort, but direct loss of money if something like this happens on our platform, right? And because of that, we have a very dedicated team focusing on it and doubling down on it constantly. But I agree with you. As an ecosystem, we need to do more. We need to constantly add more value. We need to constantly do more stuff to help to ensure that the ecosystem, while it continues to grow exponentially, it grows sustainably as well.
Okay. And with that, Harshil, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out for joining us here in ET Now and for the acquisition of yours. Congratulations. Let's see how you integrate it in Malaysia and your other markets.
Thank you so much, Nayantara. Nice talking to you.